Hi, it's Dorothy Guining with Scrapbooking Quebec. In this video, I'll be creating a 12 by 12 layout featuring products from Stampin' Up's current last chance list. These are discontinued products and some of them are heavily discounted. I will be using the Love Story Scrapbooking Workshop Kit, Heirloom Boutique Dies, Story Keeping Hybrid Embossing Folder, and more. Everything I use will be listed below along with my link to Stampin' Up. If you live in Canada and use the link, I will get a commission. And if you do, thank you very much. I've been in a bit of a creative slump for the past few weeks, so today I will be sharing a few mojo boosting tips, creating a challenge, limiting supplies, and keeping it simple. Before starting, let me tell you about my challenge to build a kit from the last chance list. And by doing this, I ended up shifting my focus from no mojo mode to treasure hunt. Suddenly, I was having fun, and this is the point. Challenge yourself. It can be anything. Just change your focus and have fun. Let's jump right in and I'll share a few more mojo boosting tips along the way. First of all, you can see I have a pile of material as well as one 4x6 photo matted in white cardstock. That's me on my birthday in front of a delicious birthday cake. This is going to be a one photo layout. I do plan to make a complimentary page with many more photos, and you will see that in an upcoming layout share. So first of all, let's have a look at this Love Story Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. For some of these products, all that was in front of me were from the last chance list. Some of them I did buy on sale on the last chance list, including this workshop kit, and others I paid full price for when they were current products. So right now I'm showing you the workshop kit. This is absolutely full of material. There are 10 pattern papers, 9 pieces of cardstock, 2 sheets of punch-out ephemera. There is a 12 by 12 sticker sheet. There are step-by-step instructions for creating 3 double-page spreads. This kit used to sell for $51 and it is on the last chance list for $25.50 half price. It is a killer deal. What I'm showing you right now are the punch out ephemera sheets. Now I already punched them out before this video just to prep myself, and I'm showing you what they look like, including that giant heart, which I absolutely love. There are a bunch of wordy bits, tons and tons of hearts. The reason why I didn't purchase this kit in the first place when it was full price is because it was too love themed. I didn't think I had enough photos to use it, but you're going to see I do change focus for this layout, and I will suggest a video to watch as well where you will get tons more ideas. So here are some of the other products from the last chance list. I have the Hearts of Love 3D embossing folder, Heirloom Boutique dies, and I selected 3 tool sets for title options. This first one is called Story Keeping Hybrid Embossing Folder, and I have 2 stamp sets, Currently Loving and Made with Sweetness. In addition to this, I have some little foam stars. Those are from a soccer collection, but I thought they would work well for a birthday layout. And all of those products that I just showed you are all on Stampin' Up's last chance list. So I narrowed down my selection. All of this is from that scrapbooking workshop kit, the white cardstock, the heart paper, the red tone-on-tone, and that beautiful giant punch-out heart from the ephemera sheets. I'm going to bring in some blue wood grain paper from Stampin' Up's Country Woods paper pack. That is not on the last chance list, but it is in my stash. And I'm introducing blue for a few reasons. Number one, my dress is red, white, and blue, so the paper matches perfectly. But number two, by introducing blue into this love Valentine themed collection, it totally switches up the look of the collection. And I give 100% credit for this idea to Kelly Baxter Fitzgerald. She's known as Snips by Kelly on YouTube, and she did this amazing project share with this collection where she introduced a bunch of blue and made all kinds of projects with this love themed collection. And I will link up her video below because it is absolutely mind-blowing, really. I absolutely loved that video. So what you see me doing right now is playing around with the paper. I will be creating a super simple border design. So I'm going to be using 3 papers and I'm just looking for an order that pleases my eye. And the idea is I'm going to layer up this heart on top of it. Now there's 2 things I want to mention that I've just been talking about. Number 1 is limiting your supplies, making choices easier, and creating simple designs, simple foolproof designs. Both of those are mojo boosting tips. When you limit your supplies, you are going to spend less time making decisions. And if you are in a creative rut, you don't want to stay in any place too long when you're creating a layout. You want it to move along quickly and successfully. So limiting your choices is a good idea. Also, creating a simple page design is a good idea as well. You want something to be foolproof and quick and have success at it. You can see off camera, I cut down my paper. I am putting measurements on the screen, and I did ink up all of these papers with smoky slate ink from Stampin' Up. I did keep my heart loose along with my photo, and you can see I did add a second map to my photo. It is that very same Misty Moonlight wood grain paper as well. Now I want to create my title. So I did select 3 different tool sets for potential titles, but in the end I decided to go with the Story Keeping Hybrid Embossing Folder. This is a bundle that has an embossing folder and a coordinating die that fits right inside the embossing folder. I've had it for quite a while, but I've never used it. And this is another mojo boosting tip. If you have something that's been in your stash for a while, but is brand new and never been touched, bring it out and play with it. It is a great way to get your creative juices flowing. The technique I'm going to be using with this bundle is quite messy. You can see I have a brayer. I also have Misty Moonlight ink. I'm getting out the embossing folder, and what I'm going to do is ink up the inside of the embossing folder. It does get quite messy, but basically this embossing folder, it embosses a bunch of words, perfect for scrapbooking titles, and the die cuts out all of these words all at once. So you have a whole pile of wordy bits for your scrapbooking page. So you can see I have my brayer, I'm inking it up, and what I'm doing is inking the side with the Stampin' Up logo. That's where the raised portion of the words are. So I'm going back and forth. I am rolling the ink one way and then rolling it the other way. I want to make sure I ink up all of the raised parts of this embossing folder. I did try this technique with a stamp pad upside down on the embossing folder, and the results weren't as good. So I continued doing that off camera. My hands are a complete mess at this point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place, first of all, my die inside the embossing folder. It fits right in there on top of the words, and the blade side is up. Now I have a piece of 6x6 white cardstock. I'm placing it in there. I'm going to close up the embossing folder. I changed my sandwich on my embossing machine for a 3D embossing folder, and now I'm running it through, and you're going to see out will pop a whole bunch of wordy bits, great for scrapbooking titles or wordy bits for your scrapbooking page. Super, super fun. And the raised part is all inked up and it's all embossed. These are super beautiful. To be perfectly honest, the one that I did here on camera, I'm not 100% happy with the result. So off camera, you're going to see in a moment, I did do myself another one. They weren't bad, but I think I was trying to do it a little bit too quickly. You really want to make sure that the ink is on top of the raised parts of the words in the embossing folder. I'm just showing you the difference on the second one that I did. It's just a little bit more defined. Anyway, it's quite fun actually, and I definitely have titles for other scrapbooking pages as well. I'm going to tidy this up, and now what I'm going to do is use the Hearts of Love 3D embossing folder. I'm showing you that I did cut myself out some tags with a tag set from my stash from Tim Holtz. And for the white cardstock one, I am going to emboss it with some little hearts. So all I'm doing is running it through my embossing machine, the same sandwich that I used for that story keeping hybrid embossing folder, and all I'm doing is adding a little something something to that tag. So it's just going to add a little bit of interest to my embellishment cluster. Now what I want to do is show you all of my embellishments. So in this first little pot here, I have all of my titles from that story keeping hybrid embossing folder. In this second one, I have a bunch of flowers. I created these with the Heirloom Boutique die. So I have Misty Moonlight two-tone cardstock. I used both sides. I used real red two-tone cardstock. For the leaves, all of it from that Heirloom Boutique die set. I cut them out in vellum, but I did have some that I had pre-cut in advance in Mossy Meadow, so I brought those in. In these two pots, I'm showing you a bunch of those ephemera pieces, all from that scrapbooking workshop kit. And I also have, let's see here, I have the tags, of course. You can see I added reinforcers to them. I also have those little stars there. I showed you a moment ago that I did my journaling. I have some twine. Now I'm getting out those stars. And I do have that 12 by 12 sticker sheet. So what I want to do right now before I start embellishing actually is I want to add some twine around that heart. The outside edge of the heart, there are little punch out holes, and it just looks perfect for stitching. I'm not much of a stitcher. I have a few different baker's twines here. One of them is blue and white together, and another one I have is in blue. I'm starting it with the blue and white, but I'm not liking the results. I'm basically going in and out and doing a back stitch. What I end up doing is switching it up. You can see I did it in blue. I'm not quite sure if it's Misty Moonlight, but it's close enough to the blue. It was in my stash. It is from Stampin' Up. And you can see I left an area where my photo would be. But at this point, I start building my layout, and I do know I want to add these tags coming out to the right side of my photo, almost creating an L design. But at this point, I'm kind of regretting the stitching that's underneath those tags there. So before continuing, I decide I am going to remove the stitching from there. So all I do is take a little pair of scissors and I am going to snip it. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but I did go get myself a pencil just so that I knew where to leave the stitching. Basically, I wanted to remove the stitching in between those two pencil marks, and you can see me kind of removing it. And in the back, I think I showed that to you a few moments ago, you can see I have some washi tape. That's basically where I secured the ends of that baker's twine. So now I have two areas that are empty, but they are going to be covered up with my photo and the tag. So all I'm doing right there is just erasing my little pencil marks, and now I'm going to fill in that area with the little tags there. What I end up doing at this point is adhering all of this off camera, and then I will continue with my embellishment. So I'm going to be back in a moment. All of this is adhered, and now what I'm going to do is continue creating my embellishment cluster. It's basically going to be one giant embellishment cluster. I'm going to have my title, which is love this, and I have it overlapping my photo. Basically where it's overlapping, there is an ugly barbecue there with one of those black ugly barbecue covers. So I'm more or less camouflaging that with my title, and now I'm starting to tuck in a few flowers around that. So I have red and blue, the two different colors of blue, and I'm really loving how this is looking, and I'm quite thrilled because, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I have had no mojo or very low mojo over the last few weeks. So it's really fun to be creating something that I'm excited about. So I'm just playing around with the flowers. In the middle of the flowers, I actually used pink. I think the color is Bubble Bath. Again, one of the same colors that is in this collection. It just introduced another little color. Then what I will do is come in with the leaves, but I do find the vellum is just too wimpy. You cannot see it even in person. So I'm trying the Mossy Meadow ones that were in my stash. I was kind of wary about adding another color, but I actually quite like it. So that's what I end up going with. And what I am going to do now is just start adhering the rest of these embellishments to my page. Now my title, I'm going to want to pop it up on foam adhesive. And if you recall, the titles that I inked and die cut on camera, I didn't like, but I didn't throw them away. So what I'm doing right now is adhering the bad one underneath the good one, and that's just going to make it a little bit thicker, and I am going to add some foam adhesive behind it, and by adding another layer behind the title, it just makes it a little bit more sturdy so that my title doesn't bend when I put foam adhesive behind it. So I'm quite happy with it. In the end, I end up using my mistake, so that's a good thing, right? Anyway, so that is all ready to go, but what I am going to do right now is just simply adhere my flowers down. I'm basically not moving them, lifting them one at a time and adhering them exactly where I had placed them. And what I will end up doing, you can see I'm adhering my title down right now. That is on foam adhesive. I only take one other flower and add foam adhesive to it, a red one, and it's going to kind of overlap the title at the top there. And then what I will end up doing is coming in and just tucking those leaves, the little green leaves around, and that is basically it. Now, normally I would be adding another embellishment cluster, but I'm really actually loving how this is looking. And I will be doing a complimentary page, so there will be embellishments on the complimentary page. So I still have the opportunity to create a visual triangle with embellishment clusters, but this standing alone works very well, or at least I think it does anyway. I'm having a look at the sticker sheet, but I'm really loving how this is looking right now. So I'm just going to keep it as is. I'm getting out those little foam stars, and I add a few white on white. I kind of like that. It's nice and subtle. And now what I want to do is finish off my tag. So I'm just looking at the twine, and in the end, I end up mixing that white and blue twine with the blue twine that I already sewed around my heart, and I end up just stringing it through my tags and adding a bow. And basically, I'm at the end. This is my finished layout. And I'm quite thrilled, actually, and I'm very, very thankful that I challenged myself to approach this layout in a different way, because by creating a challenge, I made this a game and I made it fun. I basically shifted my focus from low mojo to having fun. And by limiting my supplies, I made my choices easier and faster. And finally, by keeping this design simple, I set myself up for success. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, Scrapbooking Quebec, I would be thrilled if you did. And if you are a subscriber, thank you very, very much. As I mentioned in the intro, everything I used is listed below along with my link to Stampin' Up. If you live in Canada and use the link, I will get a commission, and please know that I appreciate your support very much. Have a great day, and I will see you soon on YouTube. Bye-bye.